Hello my dear students and welcome once again to another video for our class in PF 101 Event Driven Programming. In this video we are going to talk about how to use Java Swing menus and its corresponding event handling. So the way we do it in Java Swing menus is we are going to make use of three components. The first one would be a JMenu bar. The JMenu bar is just a piece of component that can be added into another component and will serve as the menu bar where we can put on menus. Inside of JMenu bar, we are also going to instantiate and add into it some JMenus. And inside of each JMenus, we can put on another JMenu or what is now known as JMenu item. And these JMenu item are the one that is responsible for triggering an event that you want to happen when a user clicks on that menu item. The example that I'm going to show you would be something like this. You have here a simple JFrame, and inside of this JFrame there is a text area with a JMenu bar, and we have two menus, file and edit. Inside of file we have the items open, close and exit, and inside of edit we have find, replace, copy and paste. However, for this example we are only gonna be handling the events for open, close and exit. So when you click on open, it's gonna open up a open dialog box, and we'll try and click a text file. Say for example we'll use this one, an SQL file, and click on open, and here we have the text being opened on or displayed on the text area. And once we click on file again and click on close, it closes, and if we click on exit, it closes or exits out of the program. Now here we are in the Visual Studio Code, and let us start coding according to the output that was demonstrated earlier. We'll create a new class here. We'll call this simple text editor. Of course, we'll have public class simple text editor. We'll have it extend a JFrame, and we'll be implementing an action listener simply because the JMenu item triggers an action event. Okay, and we'll implement, of course, the corresponding method required for an action listener. That would be public void action performed. All right. Now let's build our UI. For this UI, we'll be declaring us as fields here. We'll be having first the text area. Then we'll be declaring also as fields our three menu items. So we'll have JMenu item for that. And there are three of them. So open, close, and exit. And now let's build our UI. We'll have a title of simple text editor. Our close operation is of course exit and close. Let's have a size of 600 by 500. And put it to the center. Now let's define our menu. First, we're going to create an instance of a JMenu. Actually, JMenu bar. Call this mbar. And instantiate just like that. Nothing so much of a fanciness. Next is we're gonna create two menus. We'll have the file menu, and we pass in here a file word, and the other one is edit menu. Here we pass edit. Now we would like to use a mnemonic. A mnemonic is simply a keystroke that will perform the selection of a particular JMenu or JMenu item. In this case, if you want to use, if you want to make use of Alt F to open up the file menu, so we are going to turn to add a mnemonic into file menu, which is the letter F. So that if, for example, here in our menu, you'll notice that, well, it's not here, but if I do Alt F, see, it opens up the file menu. And notice that there's that underline on N, O, these are the mnemonics. Okay, so you would like to apply a file menu mnemonic, which is Alt F, and to do that, we'll simply add the character F as the mnemonic for file menu. And we can simply do that by saying file menu dot set mnemonic, and here we pass in a character F. We'll also do this for our edit menu. We have edit menu dot set mnemonic, and we pass in E. Now let's fill in some let's fill in our JMenu items into our file menu, which is the open, close, and exit. But we also have to instantiate them first. New JMenu item, and here we pass in the word open, and we set its mnemonic to the letter O. Then we'll have close, and finally the exit. And the letter X. And then we are going to add these three menu items into the menu. So file menu dot add. Let's start with the open, and then the close, and exit. Now we also are going to populate the content for edit menu, but since we're not going to use it, we'll just be instantiating and putting it inside right here without really having to get a hold of any reference to it. So let's show it so lang. Okay, just for the sake of having them there. We're not really going to use them yet. Next is we're gonna add the file menu and the edit menu into the menu bar. Remember, we have created a menu bar here, and so the name of that bar is mbar, and we say add file menu and add edit menu. Next is we're going to assign this menu bar into our JFrame, and JFrame also have a method called add menu bar or set J menu bar actually. So you can say this, that's set J menu bar, and we pass in mbar. All right. If we try to test this program now, we'll see. Okay, we'll have a frame with the menu bar. So we say new simple text editor and set visible to true, and try and run this program. There we go. Of course, there's no content inside of here, but we do have file and edit menus ready. Right, so let's now put on our text area into the frame itself. So we're gonna instantiate our text as a new J text area, like so. And we would like that when we type something on the text or on the text area, or we open up a file and that the contents of that file will be written into the text area, we would like it to show a scroll bar when the text overflows the available screen of the text area. And to do that is simple. We only have to create or instantiate a J scroll pane and set the viewport of the J scroll pane to be the text area that we have here, and then the J scroll pane is the one that we are going to add into the J frame. So we say J scroll pane, okay, and let's call this SP. Let's go to new J scroll pane, and let me also add some empty border on the side of this scroll pane so that there's going to be a space on the sides. So I'll just say SP, that's set border, and inside here we're gonna say border factory dot create empty border, and we're gonna pass in 10 10 10. It only means that we'll have an empty border of 10 pixels on each side. And now we're gonna set the viewport of this scroll pane as our text area. So sp dot set viewport view, and we pass in our reference to our text area, which is text. And now at the end, we simply add our sp into the frame. So simply add sp, because the JFrame has a default layout manager of border layout. So when we add something into a border layout without saying where to put it, it will automatically be placed into the center, which is the default location. So now, if we try and run this program, okay, so we now have here a text field, text area. And if we keep on typing, it now shows a scroll, all right? Now let's proceed with handling the event that is triggered by our three menu items, the open, close, and exit. All right. So when we do open dot add action listener, and we'll just say this. We'll also do this to the close as well as the exit. And now on our action performed, we need to identify the source because there are three items here. So first we say jmenu item source is equal to jmenu item as a parse or typecast from the event that gets source. Now, if source is equal to open, then we'll call an open function. Else if source is equal to close, then we'll do a closing function. And else if source is equal to exit, we simply are going to exit out of our program. Now let's add these two methods here. We'll have private void open and private void close. For this to work, we are going to add a file into our properties. All right. Now let's code our open function. In our open function, this should display a dialog box, an open dialog box. And so we are going to make use of another component in Swing, which is the JFileChooser. JFileChooser. Okay. And we instantiate one of them, just one. We actually need only one. And we'll use that to display an open dialog. So jf.show open dialog. The parent will be this one. This frame is the parent for this open dialog. And then we'll assign the file that we have in our property with whatever file will be selected in the file chooser. So get selected file. And then we'll use this file to read and to try and read the contents of the file and put it into the text frame or the text area. And to do this, we'll be needing a file reader. So inside of a buffered reader, create a new buffered reader, and inside of the buffered reader we could also create a file reader. Actually, we have to instantiate new file reader, and we pass in the file. And this should be inside of a try catch, because it is bound to throw an IO exception. And just for simplicity sake, it'll just be firing up a stack trace when that happens. Now that we have our BR, we're gonna have to read them one by one and put it inside of a string buffer. Let's be and we'll do a loop line by line to read the file line by line. So we'll have a string line which will be used for storing each and every single line of text from our file, and then while by the way, we should be reading one of them, one line, br.read line, and while line is not equal to null, then we can continue. We simply have to append that line into the buffered read string buffer. So sbf dot append the line, and then after appending the line, we're going to read another line. So br dot read line once again, and if that is now the end of the line, then this line variable will have a null and will exit, of course, out of the while loop. And after it exits out of the while loop, we'll just take the text coming from our string buffer and put it into a text area. So you say text dot set text, and inside of it is sbf dot to string. By the way, every line we have to add a line break like that. All right, now for close, what we need to do is simply remove the file. So file should be equal to null, and then remove all the text in the text area. So text dot set text to also null. That's all there is to it. And now let's try and run this program. Let's see if it works. Okay, click on file, click on open, and it does show up an open dialog. Try to open up a text file. Let's see. All right, sortress.java. Click on open, and there we go. We have our text open. And if we click on close, it closes, and exit. Okay, so that will be it for this session. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next one.